I am Dr. S. Malati. I am working as an assistant professor of English in V.V. Vaniyaperumal College for Women. In this video, we are going to see John Milton's most important sonnet. So first of all, we have to understand who is this John Milton. Now we can see this other introduction. John Milton was born in London, December 9, 1608. And he was died in 1674 in London also, and we have the doubt in it whether this year is the right year for his death. And he is a famous English poet, pamphleteer and historian. He is the most important writer in English after Shakespeare in 17th century. This is a poem we are going to see as a most important sonnet. So we have to know about the background of this poem. John Milton has lost his eyesight in 1652 when he was in only 44. So he felt very bad about this. He knew in his childhood also he can write very famous poems. So automatically he has the sorrows in his mind and he expressed his sorrows and suffering through his poem. And here you can find the evidence for his blindness, and he has written many number of poems. He is very famous for his Paradise Lost and Paradise Regained. So Paradise Lost was written only after his eyesight was over, and he has published his Paradise Lost only in 1674, but he has lost his eyesight only in 1652. And we have the evidence for this loss of eyesight in this poem. And he has used this title, "When I consider how my life is spent." This is the only first line of the poem. This was published in Milton's 1673 poems in his autograph notebook known as Trinity Manuscript. He has written this poem only at the number 19, but in his book he has published only in number 16. So we can mention this poem number 19 as well as number 16. So this poem is famously known as On His Blindness. This is the title was given only by his critics, not by Milton. Milton did not use this title for his poem. So today we can see this line by line. When I consider how my life is spent, this is the first line he used. Year of my days. Year of my days, the most important words we have to find this, because he has spent only 44 years with his eyesight. So he can recall the events, he can recall the incidents, he can recall the sights which he enjoyed when he has the eyesight. But now he lost his eyesight at the age of 44. So he has considered, he has spent his time only half refers to half in life. So in this dark world and wide, so he has spent mostly 44 years with his eyesight, but totally his eyesight was gone when he was only 44. So he is considered this in this dark world. Wide refers to till his death. Till his death, he used to be only blind. So, and that one talent which is dead to hide, lost with me useless. So one talent refers to writing poetry, and he considered this writing poetry is the most important gift given by God, and he has used his talent as a most important incident or most important thing in his life. Before his eyesight was gone, he has spent most of his lifetime only by writing poetry. He was not very happy in his lifetime also. In his family life also is very much worry about this. So automatically he has spent his time only to write this poetry. So he considered his writing poetry as a talent, and he has lost his talent writing poetry when he has lost his eyesight. So look at this, lost with me useless. So this talent remained me useless after this 44 years. But, though refers to only but his soul more bent to serve there with my maker. So my maker refers to God. So he considered this, he is a Puritan, and he thought that his talent was given by God. So my maker refers to God, and he wanted to return his gift as a poetry. So God has given his gift as writing poetry is the skill given by God to John Milton, but John Milton wanted to give it in return as a gift his own poetry. He wanted to write poetry in praise of God, but he can't. So present my true account. Look at this word, present my true account. My true account refers to only poetry, and he wanted to give his poetry to the God. Lesky returning child. Here we can find the comparison. As a true master, he gave some of the money to this, some of the talent or some of the money to this child. Child refers to only this Milton, and as the servant, he is not in the position to return his service to the God. So he felt very bad about this, and he is in the position to ask the question to God, why that God exactly labored light denied. So this is a question we can find here, and he wanted to ask the questions to the God because God denied his eyesight, but God has given the gift of writing poetry. So writing poetry needs eyesight, but now he is not in the position to see. So look at the ironical condition of this Milton, and he is asking the question to God. So as a God, he has given the gift of writing poetry, and he should not deny his light. Eyesight. Light refers to what? Only eyesight. But once again, he wanted to give this. As a day labor, as a work, I have to write poetry, but you want to write this poetry without this eyesight. Do you want this? Is the question he wanted to ask to this God. But patience here remains this. First 8 lines is referring only the suffering of Milton because of this blindness, and next 6 poems, these 6 lines given his faith of God. So here we can find the other idea, but patience. This patience word is very important. He has given this word only from the bottom of the heart. His inner soul is giving the warning. You should not complain against God. Look at this. But patience to prevent that murmur soon replies, God does not need either man's work or his own gifts. So this is the warning given by the inner conscience to the Milton. So God doesn't need any gift or any written gift or any human beings, normal human beings work. He has a very important servants as an angels to do his own work. So here we can find the comparison here. God does not need either man's work or his own gifts. Who best bear his mild yoke, they serve him best. Even God has given a very small work. Lot of angels are waiting to do his own work. So he doesn't want any normal human beings work. So this is the idea we can find here, because his state is kingly. He is the king of all over the world, and thousands at his bidding speed had passed over land and ocean without rest. So even he is as a king, he commands over the angels. They are very ready to do all this work without any hesitation, without taking any rest, and passing all over the land and ocean. And the last line is very important. He has given the philosophy of life here. They also serve who only stand and wait. So even many human beings are waiting to serve the God even at the bit of work. So they are waiting for the bidding. They are waiting for the words of God to give this work, and they are very ready to give do the work very easily, even when the God bid the work to them. And this Milton is not necessary to God. This Milton is not only the person to serve God, because he has a lot of persons to serve on behalf of God. So we have to make use of this philosophy of life. We should not blame God. Even we have to understand the sufferings of life, and we have to run to fulfill our lives without considering any sufferings. So to analyze this poem, we have to identify this. This is an autobiographical poem, because in this poem, John Milton has given his own ideas about blindness. And this was given only in the first person narrative. So here we can find I from the first line to last line, he has given the pronoun I. This refers to only the suffering of John Milton, and in this poem, he has given philosophy of life. Every human being has the sufferings in his life, but he should not blindly based on the sufferings, he should not blindly blame the God or anyone else. He is the only person to convey his own life without considering his own sufferings. And this form was written only in the Petrarchan sonnet form. You can find octave and sisters. First 8 lines are active, and in this octave lines he has given only the sufferings of John Milton because of blindness, and after this 8 lines, the 8th line also has given only the next idea based on the faith of God. And here we can find the rhyme scheme also. Petrarchan rhyme scheme ABBA, ABBA, CDE, CDE. And we can find the enjambment. This is the most important narrative technique he has used. First 8 lines is one of the continuation form. We have no full stop here. Only we can find full stop in the 8th line. I fondly ask. This is the enjambment which we can identify through this Milton's poems. Thank you.